Buddy, we wish you were here. I've been telling people, people have been asking how you're doing. I've been telling them you're in recovery right now. I've been following along. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Trying to get some Gymshark stuff for you. What do you got, Staff?
Mate, you're in our thoughts, you're in our prayers. Recover well, and we'll see you on the booth next year.
Next year. You, me. Oh, yeah. Fuck cancer.
James, what's up, man? This is Phil Heath. I just wanted to say, stay strong, God bless, man. And hopefully I can see you soon, brother. Be well. Thanks.
No, that looks awesome.
Good evening, everyone. It has been a long time since I have spoken to you. It has been an eventful few days. The last time you would have seen me was in the Steve Cook video and bits of this video here because after the bone marrow transplant itself, it was an eventful two or 3 days. So I'm just going to run through what happened because I didn't get too much footage because I was unwell. So the bone marrow transplant happened and everything went fantastic. It was very, it was a non-event is what they said because everything leads up to this point and then the actual moment itself is just a half an hour infusion into my port. It sounds rather lackluster, like nothing actually happens, but the actual process of what's actually happening there is so much more detailed than what you can even fathom. Like, we were in here and the person, because my donor came from Seattle, Washington, so a nurse, a coordinator here goes to Seattle, Washington personally with a little esky bag, like a little ice bag or box, and sits there with the donor whilst they donate the cells, which takes probably like 5 to 8 hours. Basically, it's like a needle in the arm, like any blood donation. Then the blood goes into a centrifuge, which spins the blood round, which takes out the blood stem cells. And then the donor receives all the unnecessary stuff like red blood cells back into their arm so they don't feel too depleted. The nurse coordinator then comes back here and the little box or the bag of stem cells or an ice and stuff like that doesn't leave their sight until it enters my body. So, excuse my voice, I'll come to that in a second. So, it was Thursday. We'll call it day 0. Day 0 is the actual transplant date. The nurse coordinator came in around 12 and everything was done by 12:30. So you can imagine how much of treatment and everything's come up to this pinnacle of a date, and then you're not disappointed. Obviously, it's a great achievement to come this far, but the actual thing where it goes, it's you expect, people say transplant, so you think it's like a massive surgical procedure, whereas it's actually just the most easiest thing a patient could probably have, I guess, in this whole experience. That's the actual procedure itself, not the whole experience. So the procedure day was very easy. I wasn't feeling too bad, I don't think. And as I said, they finished around 12:30, and then the day was we were just chilling again. Nothing happened. And then I believe we had some post-med stuff, because obviously the transplant happens and then you have to go immediately into like preventative mode, because there's lots of side effects or issues that can happen post transplant, which is what we're looking at now. So so after the transplant happens, I'm still doing some small chemo things, which are mainly immune suppressants. That's to stop either my donor rejecting my immune system rejecting the donor. My phone just ran out of battery. Ran out of space and memory as I was speaking, and I was speaking for about 5 minutes before I even realised. So what I was speaking about, I believe, before was post-transplant happenings, and basically right now we're just looking out for things that could be happening post-transplant, which is mainly reactions and graft-versus-host disease, which I may have talked about before. And if you follow my Snapchat, you would have heard me talk about it before as well. The day after the transplant, it was shocking. Like, they believe they've nailed it down to like one of the drugs I've had, because I had a drug called thymoglobulin, which is an immune suppressant, which also is in line to have side effects of temperatures and headaches and that sort of stuff. I also started a new drug called cyclosporin on day 0, and that gave me headaches as well. So I had a severe headache and nausea on day 1 and day 2. So day 1 and day 2 were complete write-offs. Like I was unwell, so I didn't get any recordings done, which is why there's no footage from those whole 2 days. And that's why there was lack of social media, like appearances for myself. There was a period of about 30 plus hours where I didn't go on my phone. I was just too unwell. I was just lying in bed, enduring the day. Mum also took my phone and did a post on Instagram on my behalf. So day 3, which is today, is a good day. I haven't had any issues, and I've been able to exercise and try and regain the lost strength that I've had over the last however long. So yes, today and yesterday were good days, and I believe that the next couple of days will be good until I will begin a degenerative slump into a bit of soreness and whatnot happening in maybe 3 or 4 days' time, which is when the chemo will kick in and start attacking more thoroughly my mouth and my intestinal tract, which I'll speak about later on. I have finished antibiotics. I was on antibiotics because I had a fever, and I'm still on cyclosporin, which is the immune suppressant thing, which is to protect from rejection of the marrows, etc. And I'm also going to be on cyclosporin, which for at least they say for the whole 100-day period. Like, I'll be on liquid infusion as I'm in hospital, and tablet form as I'm an outpatient. I was being flushed with 1 litre of water every 4 hours, which is a very large amount. That's what one of these bags is. Every 4 hours, which means I'm constantly urinating, just to make sure that my liver and kidneys were being flushed of all the cancer metabolites. The chemo metabolites, sorry. Basically, there's the chemotherapy I was having, think of it like a Velcro bowl. Specifically, we talk about the bladder, is that it can stick onto the walls of the bladder and just stay there. And you can imagine the liquid and everything going through my body was flushing it out. So, I don't know, imagine like putting flour through a sieve and then putting water through the sieve so all the flour goes through it. I guess, maybe that sort of analogy. And that was what a drug called Mesna was for the specifically the bladder protection. But right now, just some normal liquids and whatever I'm lacking in my blood, like potassium or magnesium, and I think they're putting glucose through my thing for some reason now. So far I've lost about 3 kilos, which is fine. Obviously you'd assume that due to the amount of muscle atrophy that I would experience due to the lack of appetite. During those first 2 days I had no appetite, I barely ate anything. And right now I'm able to eat quite a lot in the scheme of things. Because back in those 2 days I had my first 2 vomits, which I don't have that much of an issue with vomiting. I know it's like a very unpleasant thing to witness happening, but it doesn't bother me too much. I just get it done and then that's it. And then obviously get some more anti-nausea stuff and then press on. And then, yeah, right now we don't have that much going on besides these things up here on my infusion list. And then we have to just endure and see how I succumb to the chemo side effects, if at all, which I'll keep you all posted on. The things I'm experiencing right now in regards to side effects is mainly a lower of energy. I'm staying awake throughout the whole day. Like right now it's 12:30 and I wake up at like 7, but that's obviously a long day for anyone, but it's a tired day and it's a very lackluster day. Not very many physical activities happening during that period. The most I get in exercise is usually on the exercise bike, which I do about 10 minutes on a very low strength. So I started off with a blank wall, and I've just, every single day I've just had more and more, I wouldn't call it fan mail, I would hate that. I've just had more and more mail coming in from people just sending me little letters and stuff, just encouraging me. Anyway, so side effects mainly just the lack of energy, and I've noticed it is a bit harder to do number 2s, if that makes sense. There's a bit of pain there. Do you need to know that? Probably not. However, I find it in your best interest to know what actually happens rather than me subjecting things instead. I've got nothing else to talk about. I just needed to kind of catch up on what was actually happening over the last couple of days because I didn't do any talking. So in reality, this isn't the best representation of how my bone marrow transplant went. I'll emphasize that the 2 days I had after the transplant feeling yucky are no indication of how well the transplant went. Everyone is very happy with how it went. Each day the doctors come in for their rounds and they tell me ask me how I'm feeling, and I tell them how I'm feeling, and they always provide me with some sort of expectation of how I should be feeling. Yeah, you're going to be feeling this on this day. They always have an expectation of what I should be doing for that day, which is kind of a little motivator. They say, okay, on this day, like today, they said, on this day I want you to drink some more because we've taken you off that much liquid on the IV and you need to start drinking more. And if you want to eat some more as well, that's good. So they kind of just subtly hint you to say, yeah, you should need to be doing this sort of stuff. And they also said, yeah, go outside and do some more and do some walking. That was yesterday, which I did. I went onto the bike, and I'm really just trying to exceed their expectations just to make sure that I'm not competing with anyone, but just on the mend much faster and doing whatever I can to be out of here as fast as I can, and on the mend and back in the gym and doing all the stuff that I love. So yeah, stay tuned. The best is yet to come. I assure you that there's many things that have happened over the last week that I'm very excited for in the future, which hopefully I can bring you on as I achieve those things, and we'll be on to better things in a much shorter distance than however long this whole journey takes. But you'll have to stick around and see, because this is the end of the video and I've got nothing else to talk about. But I thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Stay strong. See ya.